Welcome to Vacuum Wars, and to our review of the new flagship robot vacuum from Eufy, the Omni S1 Pro. It has a sleek new look, a unique mopping system, a top-of-the-line obstacle avoidance system, and a new auto-empty bin design. We bought one and put it through all kinds of tests over the past few weeks and found that it's one of the best hard-floor robot vacuum mop combos we've tested in many ways, but it also has some drawbacks, particularly when it comes to carpets. So, links in the description, and let's get started. First, the basics. The Eufy Omni S1 Pro is the top-of-the-line, most expensive Eufy robot vacuum you can buy right now. But it is a bit less expensive than flagship robot vacuums from other brands, as is typical with Eufy. One of the biggest stories with the S1, in my opinion, is its newly designed mopping system, which uses a roller instead of the typical fixed or vibrating or spinning mop pads that other robot vacuums have. It also continually cleans the roller with water jets as it mops, using a squeegee to squeeze out the dirty water and then store that dirty water on board in a tank. So basically, it's using the mopping technology of an upright vac mop combo or hard floor cleaner, which have become so popular recently. As far as its mopping performance, it was one of the best I've seen. Its spinning roller exerts 1 kilogram of downward pressure, which is higher than average, and in our dried-on coffee and dried-on grape juice tests, it seemed to mop up those stains significantly better than others in its price range. Its performance was really notable for dried-on stains, but it's also uniquely capable of handling large wet stains. Most robot vacuum mops aren't very good with larger wet spills because their mop pads, whether they be spinning or fixed pads, become saturated and start streaking almost immediately. But because the Eufy S1 actually processes liquid and stores dirty water in an onboard tank, it can handle larger wet stains without streaking, and in our wet tests we saw this as well. It was easily the best robot vacuum combo for wet spills that we've tested. The roller does lift up automatically when it senses carpets, about 12.7 inches, which is higher than average, and it did good with clearing small rugs in our tests. Another pro was its navigation. Eufy did away with the top-mounted LiDAR sensor and instead used a DTOF internal LiDAR, which allows it to have a much lower profile than other robot vacuums so that it can get under more types of furniture. And the S1 Omni was well above average with navigation efficiency and coverage in our tests, covering our 38 square meter floor plan in about 45 minutes on average. It also has fast mapping and multi-level maps, all of which worked very well. But the really impressive part of its navigation system was its obstacle avoidance. It uses active binocular infrared imaging technology to recognize and avoid objects. And in our obstacle avoidance tests, it got a rare perfect score. Eufy seems to be doing something right with obstacle avoidance. In fact, 3 out of the top 5 scores we've recorded on this test are Eufy's. You can turn down the sensitivity of its obstacle avoidance in the app, which Eufy suggests you might want to do if you have large clumps of pet hair in your house. Another big pro with the S1 Omni is its so-called UniClean Station. When the robot returns to the station, it automatically empties its dustbin into the disposable bag, which Eufy says can hold 65 days worth of debris, but it also washes its mop pad, dries its mop pad, empties the onboard dirty water tank, and refills the clean tank with water and a proprietary hard floor cleaner solution, which the machine mixes automatically. It's also the first robot I've seen to have a built-in ozone generator in the clean water tank. Eufy says it removes 99.99% of bacteria when used in combination with its mop. It also has LCD touch controls on the top of the base, which are useful. It's a pretty tall base station, but they say it was designed that way to be more ergonomic for removing the tanks or when using the buttons. Another pro was its raw power. In our bench tests, it was significantly above average with suction power, and it was a little above average with airflow as well. It also did decently with tests like the crevice pickup test, which attempt to measure its seal on hard floors. In terms of its most important job of sweeping up debris on hard floors and carpets, it was extremely good. It uses 2 side brushes and a floating main brush, which worked well together to pick up everything we threw at it, from fine debris to extra large debris on both surface types. The final pro I'll mention is its app. It had most of what you need a flagship robot to have: advanced mapping features like virtual barriers and a lot of options for bin behavior behaviors, mopping settings, and scheduling. Its app was also fairly easy to use, but it was a little bit lighter on features than, say, a Roborock or Ecovacs app. For example, it did not have an option to mop with the grain of hard floors or an option to control its mop pad lifting behaviors. Just little things like that were missing that I've become accustomed to seeing. And that brings us to the cons, which all have to do with its carpet performance. While it did fine with sweeping up debris from the surface of carpets, it was not good at all with vacuuming debris embedded in carpets. For example, in our carpet deep clean test, where we run the robot on max power in a timed test, it scored well below average. In fact, it was one of the lowest scores I've seen. We ran this test many times in a lot of different ways to be sure, and the score was consistent with some of our other tests as well. Another carpet-related con was that even though it lifts up its mop pad automatically to avoid mopping carpets, you'd need to be careful with longer pile carpets and rugs, where it got stuck once in our tests. Either way, longer carpets might be a place to put no mop zones in the app. On that point, in one of the runs, it failed to recognize a no mop zone, but after testing this several more times in different ways, it did recognize no mop zones after that, so it must have been a glitch. In conclusion, the Eufy S1 Omni Pro is one of the best full-featured robot vacuum mop combos when it comes to mopping hard floors. It also has one of the best obstacle avoidance systems and navigation systems in general I've seen, and its base station helps to almost fully automate your floor cleaning experience and is well designed. It's also being sold at a cheaper price than many of its competitors, which is a plus, but if you have mostly carpets in your home, I would give the Eufy S1 a pass. Links in the description, and be sure to subscribe to Vacuum Wars before you leave. Thanks for watching. All of the links in our description section are updated regularly to reflect our current favorite vacuums in multiple categories. If you don't know where to start, check out our latest Vacuum Buyer's Guide video linked here. You'll also find links to the vacuumwars.com website in the description, where we post all the latest vacuum news, as well as much more detailed top 5 lists in multiple categories.